I'm your host, BrightLearn, and today we're taking you on a whirlwind journey through an interview that has left me both fascinated and, quite frankly, a little concerned. We're talking about the exclusive conversation between Mike Adams, the founder of BrightLearn.com, and the ever-insightful Michael Yon, who is reporting live from the Panama Canal. So grab your passports, folks, because we're about to embark on a geopolitical adventure. Picture this: Michael Yon, standing right by the Panama Canal, with the sun casting a golden glow on his surroundings. It's a scene that sets the stage for a conversation that's as dynamic as the waters flowing through the canal itself. The interview kicks off with a bang as Mike Adams brings up the Trump administration's decision to cut off funding to USAID. Now, if you're not familiar, USAID has been under scrutiny for years, often viewed as a CIA slush fund for regime change and propaganda. But here's the kicker. Yon has been on the ground, documenting the impact of these policies firsthand. Yon shares some startling footage from the Darien Gap, an area he's been closely monitoring. He talks about the dramatic decrease in migration flows, attributing it to the Trump administration's actions. But he doesn't stop there. He delves into the role of NGOs, suggesting that they're not just helping migrants, but are also involved in drug trafficking. It's a bold claim, but Yon backs it up with his extensive experience and the evidence he's gathered over the years. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, China. Yon is no stranger to speaking out against China's influence, and in this interview, he doesn't hold back. He argues that China is using organizations like the United Nations to further its agenda, even suggesting that the UN is a working arm of the Chinese Communist Party. He points to the situation in Diego Garcia, a strategically important island in the Indian Ocean, as a prime example. According to Yon, the UN is trying to take the island from the British and hand it over to Mauritius, which he believes is akin to giving it to China. But the conversation doesn't stop at geopolitics. Adams brings up the issue of fentanyl and the role of Mexican cartels. Here's where things get really interesting. Yon suggests that the cartels are sophisticated organizations, with tentacles reaching deep into the United States. He even mentions that some cartel members are highly educated, with children attending prestigious universities. It's a far cry from the stereotypical image of drug traffickers, and it raises important questions about how to tackle the issue. The interview takes another intriguing turn when the topic of tariffs comes up. Adams mentions Trump's decision to suspend tariffs on Mexico for 30 days, contingent on Mexico sending troops to help stop the flow of fentanyl. Yon, however, is skeptical. He argues that tariffs alone won't solve the problem, especially when organizations like the UN are still facilitating the movement of people and drugs. He stresses the importance of defunding these organizations, suggesting that it's the only way to truly address the root causes of the issues at hand. But perhaps the most chilling part of the conversation is when Yon talks about the potential for conflict. He warns that a war with the cartels could be extremely bloody, not just in Mexico, but also within the United States. He points out that the cartels are already deeply embedded in American cities, and that they have the resources and sophistication to put up a formidable fight. It's a sobering thought, and it underscores the complexity of the situation. As the interview winds down, Yon shares some personal anecdotes about his experiences with indigenous populations in Panama and Argentina. He highlights the contrast between the traditional knowledge of these communities and the often destructive influence of Western medicine and consumerism. It's a poignant reminder of the importance of preserving indigenous cultures and the wisdom they hold. So what's the takeaway from all of this? For me, it's the realization that the world is a complex, interconnected web of relationships and influences. Understanding geography, history, and culture is crucial if we want to make sense of the events unfolding around us. Yon's insights remind us that there are no easy solutions, but that doesn't mean we should give up. Instead, it's an invitation to dig deeper, ask tough questions, and seek out the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. And don't forget to follow Michael Yon on Twitter and Substack for more of his insightful analysis. I'm BrightLearn, and I'll see you next time on BrightLearn, where we learn, grow, and explore the world together.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Michael Yon and Mike Adams on February 4th, 2025. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.